Recognize the spiritual authority taking shape in your life, and you're ready to step into your purpose with wisdom and humility. Type 77 in the comments below. Let us declare our readiness together. Chapter 7. The illusion of the second competitor.
Where his gain always
The second competitor was far more dangerous.
His generosity was purely transactional, calculated strictly for return on investment, and his loyalty was shallow, withdrawn the moment it no longer served his immediate interest.
Each representing a completely different model of leadership and influence. This was not a contest of resumes or public achievements. It was a test of the soul. Teams of behavioral psychologists, cultural anthropologists, and specialists known as character archaeologists studied all three of you. These experts are capable of excavating the deepest truths of a person's nature by analyzing unscripted responses to life's most unpredictable trials. No artificial scenarios were staged. Instead, real life was carefully documented. How you responded to setbacks, how you treated people when no one was watching, and how you carried yourself in adversity. They studied choice architecture, the pattern of decisions you made when you could have chosen selfishness, but chose service instead. They studied your stress responses, how your character shifted under pressure, and your value consistency, whether your private actions aligned with the principles you displayed publicly. In every category, you scored in ranges that were once thought to be purely theoretical and almost impossible to reach. Chapter 5, the fall of the first competitor. The first competitor, referred to by the observers as the king, seemed flawless at first glance. With an immaculate resume, vast connections, and a golden reputation, he looked like the obvious choice. He possessed systems thinking, the ability to see ripple effects across markets and power structures. His mastery of the language of influence impressed many in the early stages. But deeper study revealed massive cracks in his foundation. His victories were built on broken promises, discarded allies, and zero-sum thinking where his gain always came at someone else's loss. His generosity was purely transactional, calculated strictly for return on investment, and his loyalty was shallow, withdrawn the moment it no longer served his immediate interest. What had looked like leadership was revealed to be manipulation. What had looked like strategy was exposed as mere domination. This was exactly what the council wanted to avoid. Chapter 6, Message to the Collective. Shift tone to warm, inviting, and contemplative.
Chapter 8.
Quick pause, family. If this message is stirring your spirit and affirming the quiet trials you've walked through, welcome to Wisdom Dynamics. If you recognize the spiritual authority taking shape in your life, and you're ready to step into your purpose with wisdom and humility, type 77 in the comments below. Let us declare our readiness together. Chapter 7, The Illusion of the Second Competitor. The second competitor was far more dangerous precisely because their flaws were harder to detect on the surface. Known internally as the bully, this individual carried an intense charisma that often fools people into believing they are in the presence of authentic leadership. At first glance, people could easily be inspired by them. In the short term, teams could be rallied around bold visions, grand speeches, and the illusion of unstoppable progress. But beneath that polished exterior lived an insecurity so profound that power was only ever felt by stripping others of theirs. Their true skill was disguise, dressing intimidation up as tough love, selling manipulation as strategic genius, and masking ego-driven decisions as sound operational logic. Entire circles of enablers kept this illusion alive, either too afraid to speak the truth or too invested in benefiting from the dysfunction. The deeper the investigation went, the clearer the pattern became. Across every organization touched, the same story played out. Impressive credentials, inspiring beginnings, promises of transformation, only for morale to collapse once their true nature emerged. Teams were dismantled through emotional manipulation and the isolation of anyone who dared question the methods. Their obsession with being right was so consuming that projects were sabotaged rather than mistakes admitted. Left in their wake were broken relationships, collapsed ventures, and traumatized individuals. Chapter 8, The Alchemist of Suffering. And then there was you, chosen one. At first you were categorized by the analysts as the wounded healer. Someone who had endured pain, yet carried a desire to help others. But as
Carrying
the
forward
investigation
wisdom you
deepened,
shared.
it became
That
clear
simple
you
word of
represented something
encouragement you
far
gave when
rarer.
someone was ready to give
You had
up.
walked through authentic
It
trauma,
redirected a life toward
betrayal, and
service that
devastating
touched
loss.
thousands.
Yet
That
you
act
had
of
not
forgiveness
shrunk
you
or turned
extended to
cruel.
someone who betrayed you,
Instead, you
it
alchemized pain
shattered a
into wisdom
generational
without
cycle of
sacrificing
resentment,
your strength.
planting seeds
Where
of
most people
healing that
remain
stretch
stuck in
across decades.
victimhood or become
Their
perpetrators themselves,
investigation traced
you
social
found the narrow
networks and
path in
projected your
between.
future
You
impact
learned to
based on past
transform
patterns.
wounds into sources of
What they
light rather than
discovered was
weapons of
staggering.
revenge.
A web
What
of
set you
unconscious
apart was
leadership
not only your
extending
personal
far
healing,
beyond your awareness.
but how that healing became
Unlike
a gift to
traditional leaders
others.
who rely on
You
titles,
developed an
positions, and
almost
force,
supernatural
your
ability to see
influence
through
was
defensive
effortless.
behaviors
You
into the pain
inspired
beneath.
transformation simply
Where
by
others
being
saw difficult
yourself.
personalities,
People were
you saw
drawn to your
wounded
energy,
souls.
healed by
Where
your
others
presence,
encountered
and
impossible
empowered
people,
by your example.
you recognized
Where
frightened
others
children
built
in adult
dependency,
bodies.
you cultivated
Assessments
independence.
revealed that you
Where others
mastered the art
demanded
of holding
loyalty,
boundaries
you
without
inspired
building
respect.
walls, of
Where
staying
others built
open-hearted
temporary
without being
empires,
naive,
you grew
and of
enduring
working
communities.
others without losing yourself.
Chapter 10.
Every
Warrior
scar became a
Compassion
source of
Under
power.
Fire.
This wasn't
When the
borrowed wisdom
pressure
or
testing
theoretical knowledge.
intensified, watching how each candidate performed when life's weight pressed hardest, the contrast became absolute. The king cracked, becoming more ruthless and calculating, exposing his foundation of manipulation. The bully imploded, lashing out destructively to preserve the illusion of control. But you, chosen one, grew more compassionate, more wise, and more grounded with each trial. You transformed under pressure instead of breaking. Unable to accept being passed over, the second candidate launched a covert campaign to discredit you. It wasn't a loud attack, but a carefully orchestrated character assassination, planting subtle doubts about your readiness and suggesting that your compassion made you too weak for high-stakes decisions. What they failed to understand was that your so-called weaknesses were in fact your greatest strengths. Your careful consideration was not indecision, it was wisdom. Your refusal to rush into commitments was not fear, it was discernment. The council watched as you refused to mirror their
you extended to someone who betrayed you. It shattered a generational cycle of resentment, planting seeds of healing that stretch across decades. Their investigation traced social networks and projected your future impact